Fire is on the mountain. The wives of the Golden King have officially declared war, and they aren't using words, they are using sack letters. A massive Operation Flush has hit the palace, targeting every staff member linked to the stubborn elders. People are losing their jobs, scholarships are being cancelled, and families are crying. Welcome to Crown Gist. You've just tuned into the heart of the palace heat. If you love the realest updates from the land of the Golden Crown, hit that subscribe button now and join the family. A prayer for my Crown Gist friends and families. May any hand secretly working against your progress be cut off, and may your home be protected from the eyes of the enemy. Amen. We respect our heritage deeply, so we use fictional titles for certain sacred needs. Stay with us and you'll understand this royal language perfectly. The land of the Golden Crown woke up today to a shocker that has sent everyone's head spinning. If you think you've seen perverse drama before, you better hold your chest, because what is happening right now is on a different level. You see, the palace is not just a building where the king sits on a throne. It is a whole community, a massive engine where thousands of people earn their living. For decades, the palace has been the destination for employment. If you get a job there, your family is made. But as we speak, a massive wave of sacks is sweeping through every corner of the royal household like a wildfire in the dry season. The wives of the Golden King have finally drawn a clear battle line, and they are no longer pretending that everything is okay. They have stopped the smile for the camera game. They have started firing personal assistants, cooks, drivers, and even administrative staff with a speed that has left everyone breathless. Now you might be wondering, why this sudden anger? Why are people who have served for years suddenly being shown the exit door? It all boils down to how the palace has always operated. You see, the palace has always been built on man no man. It's a traditional system. You don't just bring a CV and go through a formal interview. No, that's not the way of the land. For years, employment was built on connection and recommendation. If one of the Golden Crown elders has a niece who needs a job, he just whispers to the right person and she becomes a personal assistant. If a sister has a cousin who can drive, he becomes a royal driver. This system was accepted as normal. It was how the elders maintained their influence. But the wives have suddenly realized that this family connection has become a deadly trap. They found out that the very people serving their food, the ones washing their clothes, and the driver sitting in the front seat while they discuss private matters are actually the eyes and ears of the Golden Crown elders. These are the very same elders who have been trying to make the Golden King's life a living hell. The queens woke up and realized that they were living with snakes in their own bedrooms. They decided that they cannot be sleeping with both eyes closed when the people inside their private rooms are reporting every move, every conversation, and every visitor back to the enemy camp. The first blow was landed, and it was deliberate and cold. Faces that have been familiar in the palace for years are suddenly disappearing. One minute you are a trusted staff member, the next minute your service is no longer needed and security is escorting you to the gate. It wasn't loud and there was no shouting latch. It was just a firm, "Fine now, go." The message the elders is clear. You cannot fight the throne and still expect your children to eat from the king's table. The atmosphere is so tense, you could feel the vibration in the crowd as every staff member is now looking over their shoulder, wondering if their own name is on the next list. The wives are not watching from the sidelines anymore. They have entered the field and they are playing for keeps.
The shock of this purge did not stop at the palace gates. It traveled straight into the boardrooms and private offices of the Oloris' own companies. You see, the wives of the Golden King are not just sitting at home looking pretty. They are big-time businesswomen with companies that make a lot of money. One of the biggest shocks came from Kabiesi's camp. The news filtered out that Kabiesi was the first to land a heavy blow. She didn't just sack one or two people. She cleared out almost 7 staff members from her private company in one single afternoon. These were not random people picked from the streets. They were people with deep roots, sons and daughters and nieces of the very Ife elders who have been causing wahala for the throne. To work in Kabiesi's company is a big deal in the land of the Golden Crown. The incentives are massive. You are talking about high salaries, fat bonuses, and even car gifts. Just last December, she bought a brand new car for her best staff member. So, for her to wake up and fire 7 people at once, you know that the water has passed the flour. She was angry and she was done playing the role of the nice queen. She realized that while she was paying these people heavy salaries and giving them cars, they were busy leaking her business secrets and her private movement to their fathers and uncles in the Elders' Council. It was a classic case of biting the hand that feeds you, and Kabiyesi decided to cut off the hand entirely. Immediately after Kabiyesi moved, Oloris Shodo followed suit. More names started dropping like ripe mangoes from a tree. The palace was filled with whispers and pure panic. People were running helter-skelter. Some were crying and some were even trying to plead, claiming they were innocent. Some ran to the elders to beg them to intervene, but the decision stood like a mountain. Even Dr. Elizabeth reacted in her own department. Staff were being released quietly but painfully. It didn't matter if you are young or if you had been there for a decade. The queens have reached a point where they would rather work with total strangers than work with the relatives of people who want to see the Golden King fail. The most intense part of this whole drama is that the queens are no longer waiting for the elders to make the first move. They have shifted from defense to total offense. They are no longer begging the elders for peace or waiting for the Golden Crown elders to approve of them. They have declared war with their actions. They are bringing in outsiders to fill these positions, people who have no blood connection to the palace, no hidden loyalties, no family pressure to report back to anyone. They want professionals who will do their work, take their pay and go home without whispering into any elder's ear. This move has completely dismantled the spy network that the elders have used to keep their grip on the palace. The pipeline of information has been cut, and the elders are suddenly finding themselves in the dark, unable to see what is happening behind the royal curtains. As the pipeline of information was being cut off, a different kind of fire started burning in the homes of the Ife elders. You see, for years, these elders maintained their power not just because of their titles, but because of their presence inside the palace. Their children walked the palace corridors with pride. Their nephews were the ones driving the real cars, and their nieces were the ones handling the Oloris' private schedules. Information was their currency. They knew what the Golden King was planning before he even said it. But now, that tap has been turned off, and the impact is immediate and devastating. Jobs are lost. Scholarships that were being funded through palace connections have dried up. Opportunities that these young people thought were their birthright have vanished overnight. Some young men and women woke up to realize that their future plans, their businesses, their supplies to the palace mall, their soft loans, everything had collapsed. And the most painful part for them, it wasn't because of anything they personally did wrong. It was because of the stubbornness and the pride of their own fathers. This has led to a very heated and bitter confrontation behind closed doors. Young people are now facing their fathers, the Ife elders, with tears and anger in their eyes. We are hearing reports of children telling their fathers plainly, "You have lived your life. You have enjoyed power, access, and privilege for decades. But now, because of your ego and your refusal to respect the Golden King, we are the ones paying the price." The drama is not small at all. Some of these young people were the ones doing the suppliers for the palace mall. They were the ones handling the logistics. Now, the queens have taken everything away and given those contracts to neutral people. These young people are pointing fingers at their fathers, accusing them of being selfish. In a country where job opportunities are hard to find, the Golden King was the one creating a path for them. He provided soft loans, he built a mall where they could trade, and he made sure the palace community was thriving. But because the elders want to continue their tug of war with the throne, their children are now back on the streets, jobless and frustrated. The heat in the family houses of these elders is becoming unbearable. The very people the elders thought they were fighting for are now the ones leading the rebellion against them. The wives of the Golden King have successfully turned the children of the elders against their own parents simply by pulling back the hand of favor. The land of the Golden Crown has now operating under a completely new set of rules. The man-no-man system has been replaced by loyalty or nothing. The queens have proven that they are the real power behind the throne when it comes to the day-to-day running of the royal household. They are no longer watching from the sidelines. They are the ones holding the broom and sweeping the palace clean of any disloyalty.
This purge has sent a message that will be heard for generations. The throne is sacred, and anyone who tries to play games with it will be cast out, no matter whose child they are. The Golden Crown elders are currently in a state of confusion. They didn't see this coming. They thought the wives would stay out of the politics and remain in the inner chambers while the men settle the matters. But the queens have shown that a woman's kitchen is her fortress, and they will not let any spies sit at their table. As the new neutral staff members move into their positions, a heavy silence has fallen over the palace. The whispering has stopped because nobody knows who to trust anymore, and those who used to carry tales are now outside the gates looking for new jobs. Now, my dear Crown G's friends and families, I must tell you the truth as it is. All this information we have shared today, the stories of the 7 sacked staff, the cries of the elders' children, and the secret confrontations in the family houses, these are all alleged reports and unverified information making the rounds on social media. None of this has been officially confirmed by a palace statement, and it should be treated strictly as social media rumors for now. We are simply following the heat and bringing you the gist as it flows through the grapevine at the land of the Golden Crown. The battle line has been drawn and the dust is still settling. Will the elders swallow their pride and beg the Golden King so their children can get their jobs back? Or will they double down on their fight and risk losing everything? One thing is for sure, the wives are not backing down. They are standing behind the Golden King like a wall of fire, and anyone who tries to cross them is going to get burned.